Oil prices spike, shipping stalls, and Washington reaches for a new option. The USS Tripoli is sailing in, carrying Marines trained to seize islands, not just strike them. Targets like Kharg and Qeshm are now in play. So does reopening the strait mean crossing into a ground war? With gas prices climbing and global shipping in chaos, President Donald Trump is pressing his military commanders for options to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And the answer may be arriving by sea aboard the USS Tripoli. The Pentagon has deployed the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, a rapid response force of roughly 2,200 Marines, to the Middle East. According to the Wall Street Journal, the unit is expected to arrive from Japan in just over a week. On the table, seizing one or more Iranian islands off the country's southern coast, either as leverage to force Tehran back to the table or as a forward base to counter Iranian attacks on commercial shipping. Iran has essentially closed the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow but critical waterway through which approximately 20% of the world's oil flows. The economic fallout has been immediate and severe, pushing fuel prices higher across the United States and destabilizing global markets. The US military has already been striking hard. A few days ago, American forces dropped 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian coastal sites used to house anti-ship cruise missiles. Despite nearly 3 weeks of continuous US and Israeli strikes, Iran keeps firing back. That reality has not been lost on analysts.
The US has flown thousands and thousands of sorties, and yet we are not yet confident that all of these capabilities have been destroyed. That does raise questions about whether they will ever be destroyed.
That is precisely where the Marines come in. A Marine Expeditionary Unit is a self-contained fighting force, operating off ships and specializing in raids by sea and by air. It brings together Marine infantry with armored vehicles and artillery, MV-22 Osprey aircraft, helicopters, F-35B jet fighters, and a full logistics battalion. It does not need a runway. It does not need a land base. It needs only a coastline. The most strategically significant target under discussion is Kharg Island, Iran's main oil export hub, positioned at the northern end of the Gulf, roughly 300 miles from the strait.
Kharg Island, 90% of their oil comes through there. So you've got really two choices. You can destroy the oil infrastructure, which would give irrevocable damage to the Iranian economy and the global economy. Or you could seize it to use as a bargaining chip, which doesn't then permanently degrade the world economy.
Other islands are also being assessed. Qeshm Island, large and arrow-shaped, sits at the very mouth of the strait and hosts Iranian naval vessels and missiles concealed in underground tunnels. Kish Island hosts an airport. There is also a political calculation at play. Seizing islands off Iran's coast rather than entering Iranian territory itself could allow Trump to maintain that no American boots have been placed on Iranian soil, honoring a public commitment he has repeatedly made. The USS Tripoli is still days away, but the clock is ticking. The strait remains effectively closed, and Trump is running out of patience. The conflict between the United States, Israel, and Iran is entering a more intense and technologically complex phase, with the use of advanced bunker-buster bombs signaling a shift in how the war is being fought. On March 17th, the US military confirmed it carried out strikes on Iranian missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global energy choke point. According to US Central Command, the operation targeted hardened facilities along Iran's coastline that were seen as a direct threat to international shipping.
Hours ago, U.S. forces successfully employed multiple 5,000-pound deep penetrator munitions on hardened Iranian missile sites along Iran's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian anti-ship cruise missiles in these sites posed a risk to international shipping in the strait.
US officials later confirmed that the weapon used in the strikes was the GBU-72 Advanced 5K Penetrator, a modern bunker-busting bomb designed to destroy deeply buried targets. Unlike conventional bombs that detonate on impact, bunker busters are engineered to penetrate layers of earth, rock, or reinforced concrete before exploding, making them particularly effective against underground facilities. The use of such weapons highlights the evolving nature of the conflict. Iran has invested heavily in building fortified, underground missile bases designed to withstand standard airstrikes. These hidden installations form a critical part of its military strategy, allowing operations to continue even under sustained attack. The Strait of Hormuz has become a focal point in this confrontation. Iran's decision to restrict access to the waterway in response to US and Israeli strikes has raised concerns about global energy security. Nearly a quarter of the world's maritime oil supply passes through this narrow channel, making any disruption a matter of international concern. The GBU-72, developed by the US Air Force and operational from 2024, combines a penetrator warhead with GPS guidance, enabling precision strikes against hardened targets. It represents a newer generation of weapons designed to overcome the limitations of earlier bunker busters. For context, older systems like the GBU-28 were capable of penetrating significant depths of earth and concrete, while even more powerful variants, such as the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, have been used in previous strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. Each of these weapons is costly, with estimates placing the price of a single bunker buster at around $288,000. While the US targets Iran's underground infrastructure, the conflict continues to escalate on multiple fronts. In Israel, an Iranian missile barrage struck areas near Tel Aviv, including Ramat Gan, where 2 people were killed, according to emergency responders. The attack brought the total number of fatalities from Iranian strikes to 14. As both sides continue to exchange strikes, the use of advanced weaponry underscores a broader shift in modern warfare. Increasingly, military assets are being moved underground, and the battle to neutralize them is shaping the trajectory of this conflict.